Yeah, I agree with that.
There,
Myron.
there's pieces of shit celebrating on TikTok right now. I even had a couple idiots in my chat say some shit, and you know, Tariq Nasheed just made a post saying something about, oh, he rails about black violence all the time, but he got shot by a white person. Dude, it is incredible to me how people cannot exercise compassion to someone that has a family, children. Who gives a fuck about his political beliefs? The guy's a fucking human being, man. At the end of the day, he's done far more good for humanity than any of these fucking pieces of shit. Oh,
The
he's
last
just
words out of his mouth were condemning gang violence. And he was just over here. He was in Seoul. He had a lot of good things to say about Korea. And one of the last like messages he took home was he toured around Incheon and Seoul and stuff. And he's like, look, we don't have these problems. And he said, violence is a choice. Like, we don't have to live this way. And he went back to America with that message and they shot him.
and it's incredible to me how people wish death upon somebody because they have political views that don't align with them. Like that's fucking ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous, man.
Yeah, and I was saying it's
So for me, like, look, I think I agree with you guys in terms of like he's been taken out for his political opinion, which is completely unacceptable. Like a person should have that. He's basically a commentator. He's nothing, like he's not a
This is
politician. He's
terrorism,
nothing.
guys. This is terrorism. 100% terrorism. I hope the fucking FBI takes this case. I hope they charge him federally. He never gets bond ever again, and they fucking push for the death penalty. Like this is fucking getting out of hand. Violence in America, and this is 100% a terrorist attack. That person targeted Charlie in front of all those people and shot him in that manner to create pandemonium, to create fear. Charlie's probably one of the most outspoken right-wingers and most famous right-wingers in America, by far. Big Turning Point USA is the biggest right-wing event. I've been to several of them. This was 100% terrorism.
But the reality is, unless the shooter was a Muslim, they wouldn't call it terrorism. They call it something else.
Right, that's the big thing right there, Simon. Like, why hasn't anybody else called that right now, as of now?
Guys, this is Gary here. I think this is a Martin Luther King event, and it's going to ignite America on fire. It's 9/10, September the 10th, 9/11. This is a 9/11 event. It's going to be that big. I'm not trying to be. I was wondering what was going to happen to just like push this thing into super drive. Myron talks about the FBI. The FBI, bro, this is a professional hit. Okay, this is what this is whoever did or attempted to do the Trump thing. This is what they wanted us to see. I mean, this is so fucking graphic, dude. It's unbelievable. Okay. There's no chance that was just some old guy, 200 yards out, farmer. Looks so Martin Luther King, and it's gonna fucking turn America on fire. You watch what some of his friends in politics do. This I do not believe this is a random act. This is organized terrorism, and the last place I'd call is the FBI.
Well, Gary, just to your point, man. The slogan "out of order comes out of chaos comes order." Well, basically, what's happening is like you create the chaos, and then they create laws to put in place to, uphold the order. So I'm thinking this is probably going to help push guns away, or maybe even push like an agenda they've always want to push. And this segues to the perfect storm because what's going to happen next? I mean, who knows? But this is really bad, bro, really bad.
I think it's the end of those style events outdoor, talking to universities. You just can't get it secure.
Yeah, that's why we're telling Myron to cancel this because God forbid anyone on this stage who does public events. I mean, this could happen to you now. We're at a stage where people can't control their emotions. And a lot of it has to do with censorship.
Lucas, this is the message. See, crawl in
Right,
your
exactly.
hole, crawl in your
Whether
hole,
it was
boy.
right, whether it is a inside job or whether it was some random freak, the response is the same. It's a chilling effect. Like I don't want to see Myron go to this thing tomorrow to talk about 9/11 and some freak shoots him in the face. God forbid anyone on this panel goes anywhere ever again. And look, I'm all about, being brave and go out in public, but I don't do those events. And now, how are you going to get security? What are you going to put these guys behind bulletproof windows at this point? I mean, you might have to, but this is the scary look. The school shootings and all this stuff. America's changed like we've never. The people who founded this country never foresaw what was happening and whatever possibly happened to this country, where we're killing each other over these things. And again, Charlie has a family. God forsake. I mean, this is just. It is. I'm concerned with anyone like Walter said. This is very bad for people who, I mean, this could happen to Destiny too. I mean, I'm not a fan of his, but the guy could be out there, get shot in the face.
Well, look,
if Ryan comes to America to promote his video and he gets shot in the throat, I mean, this could happen to anyone here,
well, look,
and it's not a good thing.
Lucas, I'm gonna make this clear on air. Myron, you're not going, bro. I'm gonna stop you, dog. You're not leaving your crib, bro. I'm gonna stand there with, I don't know, my hands wide open.
Yeah,
You're not
I'm
leaving,
there
bro,
with him.
nigga.
You ain't going
Sorry,
anywhere
nigga.
tomorrow, Myron.
You're not going, bro.
Sorry, bro.
Let's see if
I
you can
think-
just do it
No, you gotta take a
remotely.
day off.
Still do
though,
it, but
You know
the
why
key
though?
do it
Because,
remotely.
Sorry, brother.
because you've announced it. So yeah, but listen,
Just
one
some
of the
1
reasons-
second, guys. Just some breaking news. Oh, Joe's not on here. Okay, 1 second. I'll bring him back. But Joe has just been researching, and I don't know, he's found something strange. So I'm just gonna let him come up and explain it himself. But the guy who allegedly did the shooting possibly is 71, 72. And he's got a face match. It's strange. He's got a face match of somebody else who did a prior shooting. So but just take that with a grain of salt because we're just double checking. So just
I think that's the big thing too, like Suleiman and what Lucas was saying earlier. Like, I think in order to stop this and end this, it's how are they going to hold the shooter accountable? How are they going to make him the example of this is what happens if you turn into almost like an animal and you're shooting people left and right. This is what's the consequences. I think that's going to be the big question mark, is how the response is to this, and it has to be correct, because if it's not done correctly and it's done like what we saw happen after Donald Trump assassination attempt, then we're going to keep seeing this over and over again.
so if it is the guy that
Public execution. Public execution, so everyone sees the consequences of acting like a fucking animal.
But Gary, you're counting for like people having common sense here, logic here. What if it's mind control? What if it's like they're just fed up? They said, "Fuck it, I don't give a fuck anymore." Like this is beyond like control, bro. This is more like a stage where like you have people that are riled up, people that are upset, black fatigue, what you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, and how do you control that? You really can't, bro. You really can't. And dude, imagine this, bro. Right? You have a bad day, bro. Someone steps on your shoe, you want to punch him. Bro, people losing their jobs, bro. Losing their families. Losing their fucking kids. You think they give a fuck about getting shot in public, bro? They don't give a fuck, bro. This is real.
I had a friend
So
named
I'm just seeing a tweet by Marjorie Taylor Greene on this. And she said this. She said, "I've been told Charlie Kirk is alive. Continue praying for Charlie. America saw a miracle after Trump was shot because we as a nation were praying, a covering of protection over him before he was shot in Butler. America needs to see another miracle for all of us praying for Charlie after what looked unsurvivable. America needs to believe in God. I believe in miracles because I believe in Jesus, the Son of God. In the name of Jesus, please save Charlie Kirk." So that's from Marjorie Taylor Greene. So she is claiming that from her sources, he's still alive. Also, I'm looking at his tweets, and he is very much pro Biden and anti Trump. I'm not saying that's the reason or motive. I'm not trying to say any of those things, but I'm just looking at all of his tweets. He's replying to Crashing the Scenes quite a bit. He's replying against people like David Pollock and various others. But that's just his tweets. That doesn't mean that that was the motive. But I'm just giving you the information as and when we receive it. Okay, so back to whoever was speaking. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was just trying to say before, the reason why I think Myron should cancel, and I guess Walter's going to make him, is that to counter terrorism, you have to be unpredictable. You can't have the same routes. You've already, said what day, where you're going to be. So if someone's going to do a copycat shooting, then you're pretty much going to, God forbid it happens to you. So these are going to have to go indoors. Honestly, these events are going to have to do indoors, police fucking, scanning, with the metal detector. I mean, these outside things you just can't do anymore. That's the kind of country. I mean, look,
But you can print a gun and get through a metal detector.
You could all if you go high tech, like that. What was that one movie with was the clear present danger with anyway. But yeah, the guy printed out a plastic gun and he assassinated the president or tried to. But I mean, that's like high level shit. Though. I don't think some random person might do that.
See,
But
but
either
that's
way,
why they make an example out this guy. They have to
yeah,
make
you
an
got
example. Suspect, this criminal, they have to make it a very good example out this guy, because otherwise, if they don't, all these methods that you and Ryan are discussing, like, it'll be used again, and even the indoor will be an issue, which is a massive problem here in America, where you're supposed to feel like you're free to say whatever you could say, I mean, without getting killed. I mean, this is crazy. So I think that's the big question mark. We have to see what is going to be the consequences that they bring down on this criminal, on this animal, to just go ahead and shoot someone like this in public. It's crazy. It's genocidal, like like what we see in Gaza, Palestine. So I think that's the big thing, because if they don't come down correctly, it's just going to be a pattern, and everyone, I mean, none of us could feel safe after this, for sure.
But you know that no matter who did it, what did it, coordinated, not whatever, it's still going to be utilized for the same thing. This is how messed up the world has become right now. This is something that they will utilize to create some kind of lockdown fear and pre-crime shit of why you'd be too scared to get out your house, and why we need to make sure that there's the technology to get people before they shoot people. This is what they're doing, and whatever the reason why this happened or whoever did it, they're still gonna. They see there's some fucked up people out there that are in charge of the country or different countries. They're gonna use this as an asset, and that's what they're gonna do.
Well, and Simon, real quick on that, the wildest piece is it's going to do both of those, right? It gives authority a justification to say you no longer get your rights and liberties, while also saying to those that might already want to use those rights and liberties, like those people on this space, to get them via fear to just kind of shut their mouth from fear of the consequences from crazy people like this, right? So it literally does both of those at the exact same time and reduces anybody's willingness to stand up to the authorities.
Yeah, that's the chilling effect. I mean, do you think like someone like Nick could have an AFPAC 5 now? I mean, if this shit could happen, he already got an assassination attempt. Now, God forbid, a freak shows up. So now you have to vet people. If you're going to have an event, you need security. You need to vet people. You need tickets. You need to be indoors. I mean, now we can't, as Americans, just sit outside and talk about our politics because we're so divided by the media, by academia, and it just causes these events to take place. And it's just, I mean, look, we had Arena the other day, and now we have this. And what's tomorrow? God forbid something tomorrow happens. This is just not looking good, guys. I feel terrible. Hopefully Charlie survives, but I mean, look, from what I saw that video, I don't think he will. But let's hope he does. I mean, God, man, that's just sickening.
There's a bit in my film making fun of him that I'm going to remove right now. It just
that's honorable thing to do, Ryan. I mean,
it's good, especially if he died. Like, look, he was promoting genocide, but I'm going to edit it out. I have to pre-screen stuff over here in Asia now, where it's safe. So every time I go to the U.S., I feel like I'm in prison. Everyone's fat and ugly and disgusting, and there's just like people walk around with this like degree of background anger all the time. And political discussions, it's all about like flame wars and clickbait and oof in your face type put down middle school crap. There's no like adult discussion about issues anymore, and it's not just like social media. I'm talking about Fox, CNN, whatever. It's all this clown circus stuff. We don't have like William Buckley and Thomas Sowell discussing issues like grown-ups. It's just completely polarized, put down contest, blood sport type of stuff. I'm going to sit in a circle and take on 20 college students with a timer. Like, it's infotainment. And I wish we could get away from that and get back to serious discussions like we used to have.
Okay, we're hearing some more.
It hasn't been that way since Bush
breaking
to
news.
Lester, I guess.
Sorry, Ryan. I'm going to give it straight back to you. But I'm hearing some more breaking news. Apparently, the guy who was taken down, the one we got the video of. Apparently, he's not the shooter. This has been reported by the New York Times. I'm verifying it, but just so the audience knows before we verify it, it says, man who was taken into custody after Charlie Kirk shooting is not the gunman, according to the university spokesman who told the New York Times. I'm double checking that, just double checking the sources on that before I tweet it out, but just to the audience, just so they're aware. about it. So yeah, sorry,
What was he arrested for then?
no idea. We're trying to find that information out.
You know, I will say this, guys, and look, for me, this is something I've admitted before, and the reason why I'm back in this space with Soleiman is because I've learned from my mistakes in the last year or so that this influence to me is new. You know, and you guys saw what happened to my family. This isn't about me, but what I endured going through my family, swatting and all that. You know, I was yelling, I was upset, and you know the things I said, even about Jews. You know, the rhetoric with that. You know, there are consequences to these things, and that's why I've toned down my rhetoric. I've taken advice from different people. You know, I mean, I
Okay, so
never.
breaking news. I do apologize, Lucas. I'm going to give it straight back to you. So yeah, apparently the person who was taken into custody is not the shooter. The shooter is on the run. He has not been apprehended. So just to let you know, suspect is on the run. University confirms the suspect shooter is not in custody. The Utah Valley University has confirmed. The college earlier said a suspect had been taken, but has now said that that was incorrect. Scott Rutter, spokesman for the university, said we can confirm that Kirk was shot, but we don't know his condition. The suspect is not in custody. Police are still investigating. Campus is closed for the rest of the day. So the suspect is at large. He has not been apprehended, and it isn't the I took that, and it isn't the person that we mentioned on the space. Just to be clear on that. Sorry, back to you.
Hey,
So
real
now we
quick,
know it's a professional hit. Now we know it's a professional hit.
Wait, that lends
real
credence to
quick
it being a pro.
was just going to add in. Real American Voice just reported that Charlie Kirk passed away officially. So I'll send that to you, Sully, if you want to put in the nest.
Yo,
Yeah, if you can send that.
sorry, go ahead.
And who are they, if you don't mind me asking? Are they like a reputable?
It appears it's so. This is from Anna Brandenburg, who I don't know if she's officially associated with the group or not, but she's got 14,000 followers. I'll look into the organization.
Because I deleted my post because I know Dan said it and I posted it and I just thought, look, we're not 100%. We're already hearing like as soon as we start hearing alternative points, I didn't want that out there. It's not about, so I just deleted it straight away. So yeah, that's that. Sorry, Lucas, it was you. I interrupted. I do apologize. It's just that breaking news is important.
Listen, I'm just saying for me, like this, this attention, this influence to me is new. And I've been very open-minded, open on my sleeve. And the rhetoric I use, the things even Ryan, I beefed with you. I beefed with so many people over dumb things. And this is the thing. We have to be responsible. We got to be very careful how we speak in public, because when we have such influence, like I did, and I have, and others have, we can make people, not make them, but lead them to do something stupid or think a certain way. So that's why I've toned my rhetoric down a lot. I'm like, okay, you know what? I went through something, I expressed it to the world, and I caused issues with for Ryan, for example, Soleiman use, and I'd like to heal all these stupid arguments and beefs and move forward with my life, because I did go through something terrible with my family, and I'm not. This isn't about me, but the point I'm trying to make is these beefs that do occur from these blood sports debate bro nonsense. It is clickbaity. It is to make the intellectual sphere like this clown show. And I agree with Ryan on that. And we need to do more. And I was, in a way,
That's what the beef was about. I was like, quit posting Hitler memes and stuff. This is just not good discourse.
And then we were just, whatever. We'll talk about it if you want later. But it's something that, again, I'm over it if you are. But
I never responded to it. If you notice, it was only you talking. I didn't say anything.
Okay. We'll discuss it later, Ryan, if you want to. But yeah, I'm saying for me, I've realized that my voice can cause a lot of things, and thank God none of it's ever led to anything, and it won't, because I'm not that way. But that doesn't mean this guy didn't listen to someone who was crazy. I mean, Hassan Piker yesterday said something about we got to get Nick to get beat up by some guy. I mean, what if some freak does that? What if someone says Myron, what if one of these black guys gets pissed off at Myron and does it to him? And what if someone says, Ryan Dawson's a 9/11 conspiracy guy, go get him, or Soli or anything, and this is an issue that we got to be careful and understand that our voices are very powerful and influential. And, so I've myself learned this lesson and realized, okay, if I have this influence, then I got to be more responsible. And I think what Ryan's alluding to is that these people who have these positions of influence, what do they do with it? They make clickbait. They do these blood sports. They just waste the intellectual space that could be spent on something more important rather than kooky stuff, as you would say. But also the rhetoric used, we have to have compassion. I mean, look, Charlie Kirk is a a political enemy of mine. He stood for everything I despise completely. And I would call him a quote unquote traitor in my view, but he doesn't deserve what he just deserves. So that's not the way to go. You know, the best thing to do is to convert him or his crowd with words, you know? So I'm, as much as the rhetoric I've ever said about this and that, Iran, and whatever.
Sorry, Lucas. Some more breaking news. The Utah speaker, Mike Schultz, confirms that Charlie Kirk has died. So obviously we'll get other reports for that, but Mike Schultz from Utah is saying that Charlie Kirk has died. Okay, and then we're hearing reports that a suspect has been taken into custody after. Okay, we know about that there, but so there's alternative opinions about the shooter. Some are saying it is the guy that was apprehended that we saw the video of. I've got reports from the New York Times and the Telegraph saying it's not, and from the university saying it's not. So we're just giving you both pieces of information on the space, so you're aware of the live information as and when we receive it. Also, someone from the university said that no checkpoint was in place at Kirk's event. They said what was it gone? That someone from the university told NBC News that members of the public could not enter the event where Kirk was speaking without needing a ticket. I was expecting. He said, "quote I was expecting when I got here that I'd have to pass through some kind of security, but that just wasn't a thing. No one checked the barcode or the QR code. There was no checkpoint to get in. It was literally anyone could walk in if they wanted. Again, a massive concerns about security and safety of influencers." If they are doing these events, Myron Games is on here who regularly does this and does agitate a lot of people when he's doing it.
Could there have been more than one actor? One diversion, one shooter. That's what they often do.
I mean, could be if it was, you know, a professional hit, if it was government sponsored or something. I mean,
Yo,
I guess.
you know what's wild though? So I've been to events before, TP USA, and because I know people there, I didn't get checked. Okay, so I'll give you an example, right? Even here in Miami, if I know the organizer for an event, if I know like people that work backstage or even security, they don't check me. So I could walk in there with a gun, anything, and I'm chilling. So I can't imagine an open place like that. Man, bro, if someone wants you gone, bro, there's no like, oh yeah, bro, security. Dude, they can let them in and then they shoot you. There's a guy at a club here that had beef with Meat Mill's people. They walked in the club, they get checked, boom, gone. So this is all fine and dandy to say like, oh, security, bro. You never know, bro. Like it's one of those things where like you're hoping and praying that people get checked, but you never know.
Also,
Yeah,
we've
no,
got some more breaking news. This is not related to this specific incident, but apparently there's a mass shooting also in a high school in Colorado, and there is an active shooter event there as well. I believe that shooter is on the run, but yeah, there is an active shooting event in a high school in Evergreen in Colorado right now as well. Sorry, whoever's speaking, go ahead.
The intelligence agencies are real busy before the anniversary of 9/11, I see.
Yeah, you know, look, this Saturday in UK, there's going to be this big protest event. It's so obvious that the pro-Israeli side are going to be there paying homage to Charlie Kirk. That's going to upset someone from the pro-Palestinian side that's going to say, what about the thousands of life that you don't even respect every day? And even if that doesn't happen organically, it will be someone will be implanted to do that anyway. Like this is what we all have to be aware of. They're trying to scare the shit out of you from doing. It's working. You have to protect your life. And then the end result is they're going to implement the technology that makes sure that everyone complies. And it's going to be, it just is going to be wild in the UK this weekend.
Yeah, so we are getting reports that unfortunately has passed. So Dan Bilzerian was right, but obviously to be on the safe side, we did change the title, but he has been killed.
I wouldn't have said it without a source. It was
Like what?
I was pretty
Likewise.
confident in it.
Yeah, I mean, look, just looking at that wound, man. I mean, what are the chances of survival? That so much blood left him at that point. By the time anyone even showed up, he probably, unless there were medics on the scene, which I doubt, or maybe there's first aid people. that I saw when I saw that, I was like, you're not surviving that. So that would take a miracle, and sadly, it was not answered for those who are praying, and that's the loss of an American citizen who, again, completely my opposition politically, but in no scenario would I have wished it upon him. You know, you could say rhetoric, traitor, this and that. That's all rhetoric, but no way would ever want to see that happen to anyone. And that's just sad to see in front of and that's the thing, that chilling effect of all the people. And there, how many kids what are the age limits there? Was there an age limit? Were there kids there? Was it all college students? Does anyone know the details of the event itself?
Yeah, but Lucas, the messed up stuff about this is, we of course everyone needs to be careful with their language, but there's actually, no matter what you say, there's no way you can take responsible for the psychopaths or people that are going to be listening to your content and the actions that they'll take. So it's absolutely that chilling effect, and it will be utilized.
Yeah, no, I get that. Listen, I mean, I could say anything and people can do whatever they want, but I'm just wondering if there were children at this event. Does anyone see kids there? Because that's really messed up.
I mean, regardless, nothing's ever going to be the same again. You can guarantee they're going to spend this in a way where it's going to benefit their agenda. And of course, as a creator, like I said before, this should make you think about like everything, because again, obviously we're all for free speech here for the most part, but it does come at a cost. And I got friends that have been fucked up from talking about the Jews, friends that fucked up talking about like, other topics, and like at the end of the day, like you gotta understand, this is your life to live. Of course, you should do the right thing always, but this is a tactic to scare you, and it's chilling because it could be any of us. So I just think at this point, bro, like we gotta come together, figure some shit out, because this is not in our favor at all. So
well, Walter, I mean, look, Myron does those Miami State conversations. God forbid one of these crazy people come up to him. One of these Zionists just blow his head off. You know what I mean? It's the matter of time that, God
well,
forbid, that happens.
well,
You know what I mean?
I've had people that I know that know Myron, that know me, and tell me, listen, bro, we're gonna get him, and I'm like, what do you mean by that? And I don't know what that actually means, but nothing happens. But unfortunately, today, this is like, it can be fucking psycho. Just is like, oh fuck this nigga, bro. You thought it's about black people? Boom. You just never know. So, as a friend, as a business partner, fuck no. I wouldn't want him to go anywhere near the campus right now, because it's fucked up, man. Like that's the homie. So, and mind, he's just talking. No violence, no inciting violence, just talking about topics. That's wild to me, but America's fucked, bro. American society is failing at an all-time high. You got job market loss at a really all-time high as well. People are trying to figure out what to do next because they're scared. They don't have any money. It's going to cause anarchy. And I got billionaire friends that are building bunkers on their cribs. They're getting properties away from America. And they're leaving because they know what's happening next. And it's fucking crazy because most Americans are stuck here. So what are they going to do? Fight back? Steal? Rob? Kill?
Just some more breaking news.
NBC's
Just some more breaking
reporting
news.
they do not.
Sorry, go ahead, Doc.
They don't have a suspect in custody. That's what NBC
Say
is
again,
saying.
sorry?
They do not have a suspect in custody.
Yeah, I mentioned that. They're saying the suspect is still on the run and he hasn't been apprehended. Is the statements that are coming out. We've got there was another point I was going to make. Oh, okay. I've got a video in the nest as well. This shows a different angle of the shooting. It does show. Look, it's just not. I mean, it's highly unlikely he survived that shot. I know a lot of people are saying he's been killed. There's other people claiming he hasn't. I think largely speaking, people have confirmed that he is dead. But there is another tweet in the nest, which is from a
Tim
different
just
angle.
tweeted now 4 minutes ago. He said, "Oh my God, reports are Charlie has died." That was 4 minutes ago. Again, obviously not confirmed. We've gone back and forth, but just I'm looking at Tim right now, and I know Tim is close with those guys.
We've got Dan coming up as well, and Dan did tell us. Actually, he told us well before anybody else. I did change the title back just because I wanted to have confirmation. But Dan's back up again, but he did tell us about 10, 15, maybe 20 minutes ago, as soon as it happened.
Right
He
before I
found out.
came on, right?
Yeah.
Who confirmed? I mean, if
he's here, Dan, thanks for joining us.
oh, he's here. Okay.
What's your are you able to give us any more updates, Dan?
I was just told that there's like the suspect that everybody's posting. I guess they haven't, or he's not in custody, or maybe it's a different person. But the source that I got said that they don't have somebody.
Yeah, that's right. The New York Times and the Telegraph are saying that the man who was apprehended, the old-looking 70-year-old man, he wasn't the suspect. He isn't he isn't the shooter, and the shooter's still on the run. He hasn't been apprehended.
Was he involved though? Because like I mean, for something like this, you might need a spotter, you might need a team to kind of like was this guy involved at all?
No idea whatsoever, and I agree with you. I find it highly problematic when they do this, when they'll arrest a random person to cause uproar on social media. They did this last time when the shooter, when he went to the when he went to the NFL place to shoot people up, and they arrested a guy with a pro-Palestinian shirt, and then said, "Oh, he's a pro-Palestinian shooter." So I think in these type of things, the police need to be wise that when you're arresting people in that manner, people are going to think he's the shooter. So from what we understand, he isn't the shooter. But Dan, sorry, in terms of who was your source, you mentioned it earlier in terms of Charlie, that he hadn't made it. That's now almost been confirmed by everybody. But who was your source?
I can't give it out, but um, yeah, I was told that it's that he didn't make it. So
Yeah, and that's now been confirmed.
Well, Dan, you saw that wound, man. I mean, that thing is, you're not.
That's fair.
And that's a rifle. And someone said it was 200 meters. So that was someone shooting him with a rifle. It wasn't a handgun. It wasn't.
yeah,
That sound.
you see MSNBC being like, oh, maybe it was one of his supporters just shooting a rifle off in support. It's like these fucking retards are unbelievable.
Yeah, no, that shit was no joke, man. That was a fucking clear shot. I mean, I was assuming that the person would shoot him in the head, so they missed the head. But I mean, you don't really go for a neck shot to kill somebody. But that was a rifle at 200 meters, and whoever that person is on the run. So maybe it is
Hey,
something more.
hey, Dan, I'm just curious. What do you think is the next step here in terms of like what's going to happen next with people seeing this happen to Charlie Kirk?
I actually don't think the Charlie Kirk thing is going to incite as much change as the woman on the subway. I mean, I think it's bad. I think it's terrible, but I think the woman on the subway was a bit more radicalizing for a lot of people, just because of the narrative that they've been told. And then you saw what the media coverage, was just mainstream, was non-existent. And I think people are just realizing that the mainstream media is just complete fucking horseshit. And once they take the next step further to realize like who's running the mainstream media, then I think things are going to start to make a lot more sense.
Good point.
They're celebrating it on
Good
Telegram,
point.
in the shitlib Telegram.
Wow.
Well, why do you keep saying 200 yards? Like, what is that info coming from?
Didn't
What?
someone?
Just hyperbole?
No, didn't someone say that in here? Or
Yeah, that was initial.
Right, but where? Why they? How can they know that?
Ryan,
well, I know that.
initial speculation was that it was from some center, from the roof of some center that's 200 yards away. Also, the guy that was arrested, I don't know if he's the shooter, not the shooter, but we do know his name. And he had been arrested before because his name's George Zinn. In 2003, he sent an email to Salt Lake City Council saying, because of some marathon, saying, if you need help, I'll set up the bombs at the finish line. And he wound up serving like.
You broke off though, but Joe, when you're back, the person you mentioned is George Zinn. This guy was alleged to, his name is Malcolm something.
But if you see, Ryan, if you see the video,
The angle did look like it was from above.
yeah, if you see the video, everyone.
It kind of like went.
Yeah, sorry. When you see the video, everyone turns away from Charlie completely to the right, and the bullet sounds like it's from a distance. Like it's like a slap. I can't explain the sound, but it's like a whoosh. So when it's like that, it's like a whip almost. You can know it's from a further distance. So because it traveled so fast from a distance. So
Yeah, the further it is out, the bullet will hit, and then you'll hear the report. So yeah, when it's far out, the bullet's traveling faster than sound, so it'll hit, and then you'll hear the whip crack, or you'll hear the report from the rifle afterwards.
Yeah, because when I saw the video, I was expecting someone in the front row to pull out a handgun. That's what I was waiting for. And then I see him get hit. I heard that snap, and I'm like, "Holy shit!" And I see that blood. I'm like, "Okay, that guy was." And then everyone turns to the right.
If you remember with the Trump shooting, it was just like,
Yeah, it was like there was like a few shots from a distance too. Yeah, so that's yeah, it's definitely a rifle. That I know. That's a sound of a rifle. Maybe a 5.56. Dan, what do you think? 5.56? I mean, you can't. I don't know if we can tell the difference between an AK. I don't think it was an AK, but certainly a 5.56.
it looked like a large caliber that went through.
Yeah, I'd say probably 7.62 from the,
Yeah,
I mean, because the thing is, 5.56 at range becomes a 22, right? I mean, the
yeah,
reason
yeah,
why it does a lot is because of the velocity. So the further out, I mean, when I was in the military, the maximum effective range for that was 400 yards. So I would think it would be a 7.62. I mean, 5.56 is just such an inefficient killing round. So if somebody's going to
yeah.
do this and they know what they're doing, I would assume they're using at least a 308.
Yeah, the 5.56 would bounce around if it would bounce around, and the exit wound looked like it was much bigger. That's what I was thinking. But
Yeah, as long as it's within, a close enough distance. Like I said, once it gets out, to 400 yards or whatever, 400 yards, it slows down, and so you really effectually have the same thing as a 22 because a 55 grain bullet. The thing that makes it do a lot of damage is the velocity. So at distance, it's a pretty worthless.
In terms of the shooter, obviously initially we thought the guy was close to Charlie Kirk. Now there's a possibility he could be anywhere. Ryan mentioned the possibility that he could have been on a roof. I mean, if he's from a far distance, the points that you're both making in terms of the type of gun that was used, do you think that would still be the case if it was from a further distance and from high up?
I mean, the further away it is, the more likely it is a high caliber round because what I was saying is that, the 5.56 at distance is not very effective. And it seemed like it seemed like he went down immediately. I mean, it was a pretty big entry wound, and usually you don't get a big entry wound with 5.56. I would assume that it's at least a, 7.62 or 51.
yeah, well, the 5.5, the M16 is up to 500 meters without, but that guy was not that far. But the wound is what gives it away as the size of the bullet. So yeah, 5.56 would have been a little hole.
Another clue is had he been close, in that crowd, they would have immediately seen it and stopped him. So he has to be above or at distance because he got away.
Yeah, exactly. So this guy sniped them essentially. That's what this was, a fucking snipe attack, assassination attack, politically. And it is, and Myron's right, it is terrorism because it's a politically driven, well, from what we assume at this point, it is, because the definition of terrorism is the use of violence or intimidation to achieve a political aim. And here it is telling conservatives to, stop what they're doing, whatever that is. But we'll find out more about the guy. I mean, that's the key here.
The COO of TPUSA confirmed that Charlie's dead.
Uncensored, just a quick question to you. Actually, I'll come to you in a second. Let me just quickly continue this conversation because it's extremely important. But then I'll come to you in a second because I believe you're the guys who organize Myron's events, right? But another question I've got is if this is something that was done from a distance and therefore or from up high, does that add to the possibility, based on both your experiences, that this could have been someone who was an expert, maybe a military man, or do you think this could have been done by an average Joe?
Well, I think, look, if you go to the range and train, I mean, it's not that difficult. With a scope, you can shoot anybody, essentially. I mean, the only thing about marksmanship, you got to have the trigger pull correctly, breathing out, and bone support. So if you have all those three when you're aiming and you pull the trigger, when you exhale, you will not have that kickback where you'll miss the shot. However, the guy shot him in the throat, and I don't
Yeah,
think
I was
that.
about to say the same thing. Yeah, the throat shot was not
Yeah,
on target.
yeah. So that guy wanted a headshot, and either, so that to me, if he was a pro, he would have killed him and he would have shot him in the head. So the fact that he didn't shoot him in the head, unless he wanted some kind of spectacle of blood, but a headshot would have been even more crazy, But yeah, I don't think it has to do with any expertise or anything like that. Again, anyone who hunts, America's full of hunters. It's Utah. I'm sure there's a lot of hunters there. A scoped rifle is plenty for anybody, So even Trump shooter, if he had better trigger pull, he probably would hit Trump. maybe, but he probably just started firing crazy, and then
Just some breaking news. Sorry, Lucas. The Donald Trump has tweeted. He said he's confirmed that Charlie Kirk is dead. He said the great and even legendary Charlie Kirk is dead. No one understood or had the heart of the youth in the United States of America better than Charlie. He was loved and admired by all, especially me, and now he is no longer with us. Melania and my sympathies go out to his beautiful wife Erica and family. Charlie, we love you. So that is confirmed. The President of the United States has confirmed that Charlie Kirk has passed. Dan did tell us earlier on, but just we wanted verification. But yeah, that has been confirmed. Sorry, Lucas, back to you.
I'm just saying that if it was a pro, and I think Dan agrees, that would have been a headshot. And the fact that it's not a headshot, it shows that maybe it's not a pro. But unless he purposely wanted a bloodbath, like shooting an artery, you're going to get more than a headshot, I think. But depending on the round, of course. So yeah, it was probably not a 5.56. I agree with you in there, and it was probably a bigger round. And yeah, I don't think it was a pro. It could be any American who hunts, goes to the range, and they're only 200 meters away with a
A
scope.
pro would aim center mass. Like, why risk it? It looked like Charlie had just put the mic down and was leaning back, so maybe his head was in that position, and then it was his throat because he was moving. But a professional would just hit him in the heart
or the head, either way. But I mean, we don't know. We got to know who this guy is. If he's just some old man. If it was the old man, I
you
would
aim
assume
center mass, because if you miss,
you're breaking up there a
you
little bit,
still hit.
Yeah.
You're told to aim center mass. Like, if that caliber bullet, they'll still die, and you can always shoot them twice.
Yeah, I'm just one of my friends, Sartorial, basically said that he was out the moment the round hit, indicates hydrostatic shock from a high energy round like a .308. Is that what's your thoughts on that, Dan and Lucas?
Yeah, I mean that's what I said. A point through a 308 is the same as a 7.62 by 51. One is just the military version of it. Same bullet.
Okay.
But
This
yeah, I
is
mean that's the most common sniper round. So yeah, that's what I would suspect it was.
Yeah.
Whoever did it planned an escape route too. I mean, they hit him. It looked about 6 degrees above.
Ryan, you're breaking up a little bit. Ryan,
escape route as well. There was a huge crowd. I can't.
Ryan, you're breaking up a little bit. It's just going in and out. It wasn't doing it before. It's just started doing it now for the last like 20 seconds. Just a quick question to Uncensored America. You guys host events. I know Myron. I don't know if it's exclusively Myron or others, but you basically host these events. What does this mean? Are you going to stop holding your events? Are you going to put extra security on? Like, what's your plans?
In regards to the event tomorrow, we're still evaluating things. We're working with the university to see what we're going to do moving forward, because obviously this is all developing, and now with this guy supposedly not in custody, that could change the circumstances too. So unfortunately, I don't have any big updates except that we're working with the university. We're supposed to have a conversation with them tomorrow, but I'm trying to push it to tonight so that we can have more information for people who want to attend. But it's very crazy what's happening today.
Brother, I don't know you, but a little advice: cancel tomorrow. It's not worth the risk.
Yeah, we're evaluating a bunch of options, so we're gonna take the night to think about it and see what we're gonna do. But it's
They're saying
definitely crazy.
Nigga, evaluate what?
They're saying the shooter wasn't even found.
Yeah, we mentioned that. Yeah, I think it's probably not smart or prudent to do an event tomorrow. And then I think if you do one in the future, you're going to need extensive amount of security. The shooter still is at large. Allegedly, the shooter has not been apprehended. So we're waiting for more information on that. Just to be clear, the man who was apprehended, he allegedly is not the shooter, and therefore You know, people are still, I mean, the police or whomever are still looking for him. Major concerns about what's happened, but also, yeah, that's the latest.
That is weird though. To just
What do you gain
arrest
really
this guy.
by going and just debating remotely? Like you're having a discussion about 9/11, just do it remotely. Everyone's safe.
Yeah, I think.
The one thing I'll add to give some insight onto these sort of things is whenever you do an event on campus, you work with the campus security, sometimes even the county security. It's kind of baffling to me. I mean, I know it's a big crowd, so it's obviously increased a lot of risk outside, but I really am. There's going to be a whole investigation how this happened because they had campus security, Charlie security. I think Myron was saying earlier, like he moves like Secret Service, which is so true. I mean, the fact that this guy was able to sneak in like this is wild. I mean, like when we did an event at Penn State with Gavin McGinnis and Alex Stein, that had 12 divisions of police. They rolled in to keep us safe. That's the joke. Is like every time, it's never the speakers that are a threat. It's never the attendees. It's always the people that come to protest and counter it that they're worried about. And they had to get 12 divisions of police to make that safe, like with drones and snipers, all kinds of stuff. So that's what's baffling me right now is how this, like how there was not enough security for this to prevent this.
Yeah, I mean, if he were 200 meters away or in another building, that could be what it was too. It could have been like he wasn't even in the event. You know what I mean? Just like the
Yeah,
Trump
I mean,
shooter.
yeah, securing a perimeter of like 500 meters, 360 degrees is a lot harder than people think, especially in a super crowded area. I mean, unless you have Secret Service and all that, and even then, I mean, just a lot of places where people can go, and there's a ton of people. So unless they're going into like an arena or something, and you can send them all through a metal detector, it's pretty hard to check every single person's bag and car and everything, and all the buildings around there. I mean, it's not as easy as it sounds.
No, absolutely not. And just looking at the video again, I mean, it's just like this guy could have just been on top of a roof somewhere, hit him, and just disappeared. And like wasn't even in the event technically. Never had to go through any security. Never even bought a ticket if there were any tickets. And that's why he's not apprehended. If he was in the crowd, he probably would have got tackled or something like that. So yeah, I'm thinking that this guy wasn't even in the event. He was outside in the perimeter, like Trump shooter. Trump shooter wasn't in the event.
Yeah.
He was on the roof, you know.
NBC is saying that there were no metal detectors.
Right, but even if they were, if he didn't go inside at all and just pick the roof like you think, you know, because you're looking at, I'm agreeing with you, Ryan. It's probably at some elevated height where he went shotting down, you know. So this guy wasn't in the crowd; he was on some.
Sure, but it's just baffling that there were no metal detectors when you have somebody so polemic. Like
Oh yeah, I see what you're saying.
Usually with
that's
outdoor events, they don't have metal detectors. That's the problem.
Bro, security's lax, man. Dude, I'm telling you, dude, like these events, bro, I get it. It takes a lot to maintain. I even to just get people to like have positions in place, obviously for cops and police. But dude, it's never really secure, bro. Being honest.
No, if someone wants to kill you, they'll find a way, no matter what. I mean, someone could fly a drone with a grenade on it if they found a grenade. You know, how are you going to stop that? You know, it's just people are going to come up with all sorts of ways to overcome security and do what they want to do. But yeah, obviously the risk is reduced with more security, but how can you secure an open field like this? You just even Trump's Secret Service, which I think was very lax that day for probably obvious reasons. You know, that guy was on a freaking roof, wasn't even in the event, and just took some shots. So here we got, you know, I would never think Charlie Kirk would be a victim of this. I never saw this coming. You know, Charlie Kirk doesn't he supports Israel and all the other rhetoric, but he doesn't preach violence. Like he doesn't. We should attack the left. And I don't know. It's just I'm shocked by this. I'm very shocked by this.
But Lucas, imagine, let's say we're picking sides here, right? He's not on our side, so to speak, right? And they took him out. More so,
Correct.
even imagine people hate us on this side. That's like 10x.
Well, that's why I'm concerned with Myron, bro. What do you think? I mean,
Me too. Me too.
I'm like, God damn, if they took out him, what about someone like Myron? For you know, God forbid I walk in public. You know, I don't do events. I'm not like that. But God, man, I'm concerned of everybody, anyone who does an event at this point. I'm concerned with. I mean, look, even Destiny can get shot.
I'm wondering if they're going to catch a shooter from Iran.
Oh yeah, that
Yeah,
would be
uncensored. Let me just say this again. I strongly recommend you cancel tomorrow's event. This is not the type of environment you want to hold an event in. This is just not it.
And it's 9/11 tomorrow, which is, I know is the topic, but maybe another freak comes out tomorrow who, lost someone in the towers and wants to get vengeance. I mean, typically these things happen. Look, we had a stabbing yesterday, an assassination today. Tomorrow's 9/11. Who knows what the fuck could happen tomorrow? I don't think it's worth. Look, I'm not gonna tell you to run your business. I'm just saying, I love Myron. I don't want to see him get hurt. He's a very powerful voice. He's really good at what he does. The last thing I want to see is my friend get shot in the fucking neck or face or anything over a topic, which, I mean, because look, to avoid terrorism, you have to be, you can't have the same patterns, right? They teach you in the manual, if you go out the left door, go out the right door one day. So now we have an established date, which is tomorrow. You know exactly where it is. If someone wants to do a copycat killing, right, they can do it, I mean,
Yeah, knowing that as well, sometimes people don't do this as a one-off. It'd be sequential. They might do one another day. There might be other people, as you said, who are copycats. It's just there's too much of a security risk to do it tomorrow. There's no doubt about that. Like,
it's only let's suppose there is some kind of secret operation to eliminate all conservative influences. Well, there's Charlie, who's another one. Myron, who's another one. You just all of them get not. What if this whole week is about getting rid of these people?
exactly.
What if there's a 9/11 plot where it's like, let's kill all the conservative guys in one shot, literally? You know what I mean? I wouldn't risk it. That's just me.
And then blame it on Iran.
Yeah, I mean the biggest thing here is that the shooter is on the run. He hasn't been apprehended. I'm still checking. I can't see any information about being apprehended. Therefore, this shooter is at large.
What about
And
any information on him in general, like height, weight?
nothing, because the first guy was apprehended, which is a 70-year-old Caucasian, a male. He was apprehended. He obviously was very much anti-Trump, and he was pro-Biden, but clearly it's been confirmed that he wasn't the guy. So therefore, we have no information on this guy. He's at large. He's on the run. We have no information about him whatsoever.
But isn't that kind of, I was saying before, isn't that kind of weird that you just arrest some dude with no gun on him, no nothing, and that kind of gives the other guy a way to run away, kind of thing. If this was a setup, you arrest some old random guy. Oh, we got him, and then the other guy's already gone. Because why would you arrest this guy? Where's his gun? Does he have a gun? I mean, why'd you arrest him? I don't know. That's very strange. Just pick someone to, and they always do this. Every time there's a shooting, the guy just, oh, never mind, it's not him, it's this other one. Oh, the other guy's gone. We don't know who he is.
They did this last time, remember? Yeah. They did this last time where they arrested that pro-Palestinian guy, and then everyone said he was pro-Palestinian when he wasn't. And so even with this one, everyone thought it was this 70-year-old Caucasian male. And again, I just think it's part of this like a psyop where they try and make it look like it's somebody when it's not. But yeah. Sorry, I've got another breaking news. The tweet should be getting to the nest any second now. But we mentioned that there's a Colorado shooting. Well, a Colorado high school shooting. I posted the wrong thing. But anyway, there's a Colorado high school shooting. 3 teens are in critical condition. So there is a Colorado high school shooting, and 3 teens are in critical condition. So there's also a mass shooting in in Colorado as well. This is this is going to be there's going to be a big conversation about gun crimes now, isn't there? And whether this should be about what's your thoughts on that, Lucas?
Yeah, and look, Trump was very close to Charlie. I think Trump will take it personally and do what Trump does, go too far, and maybe start passing laws that are not right for everyone else who doesn't misuse there's weapons. I mean, there's a school shooting now, and this might come from, ironically, all the Republican sides. You know what I mean? Who knows what's going to happen? I mean, this is very disturbing. So, I don't even own a gun. Everyone knows that. But the thing is, like, I don't want anyone's guns rights to be limited or taken from them. And that's what these things do. They will take advantage of this, no matter what the real story is, to push gun control or whatever other control, or maybe Palantir's, some kind of surveillance thing that they want to push out. Like, hey, we could have stopped this if we knew his face. Who knows, man? But I don't trust the government taking advantage of any situation, whether it's engineered or not, so.
Oh yeah. Look, at the end of the day, we're gonna go to speak about this later once we've conversed about this. But I mean, I do believe that these events, either intently or without intent, are going to be used for mass surveillance, both in the United States and the United Kingdom. There's no doubt in my mind about that. And this will be a way of taking away people's guns for sure, because they'll say it's for your safety. Because this guy, let's say he is the shooter, let's say he is apprehended, let's say there is but then, for example, he doesn't have a medical condition, or he hasn't got mental health issues. Then the question becomes like, what's the motive, and whether other people have the same type of motive. And there's a lot of question marks that come about based on that. So yeah, I do think that there will be major issues. But yeah, as I mentioned, the tweets in the nest, 3 teens are critically hurt in Colorado school shooting. So there's also a school shooting in Colorado, with the 3 teens who are in critical condition right now.
Yeah, and that's just going to increase this conversation to get. And look now, because you got Charlie Kirk dead, people are going to mourn for that. Now you got kids dead, high school kids. You got this woman Irina dead. So I don't know what. It's almost like this week is going to be a very bloody week. I don't see. Maybe something else will happen. God forbid. But this is just instability of America, guys. This is what's going on. The divide and conquer is on full effect, and it's just going to get worse, sadly. So I think everyone needs to be safe. You know, I honestly don't go out anymore. I go to the gym maybe, and I go to Costco. I don't leave my house. I honestly, I just, what's there to do out there other than get hurt? You know, so I don't know. I don't see the America I grew up in. You know, just in one generation, I don't see the America that I fought for in Iraq, quote unquote, fought for, because obviously it was a fake war. But things have changed so much, and we got to be very cognizant of that and be very careful. So I'm very concerned for everyone's safety in this whole thing. I mean, everyone here can be in danger, no matter where you live, because political tensions are like this all over the West. You know, and look, with Israel doing what it's doing, and they control the media, they could play us off each other, guys. They could increase racial tensions, they could decrease them. They could make Islamophobia, anti-whiteness, you name it. They could just play with our emotions, and also the algorithms manipulate us as well. So we got to be very cognizant of what's being fed to us, what we're allowed to see, you know, and always be skeptical, because I think there's always something else going on. And I'm not saying that as a conspiracy theorist. I mean that literally. You know, this
Yeah,
guy got arrested for what? Why'd they arrest that old man? Did someone
yeah.
say gun?
It's
That's
funny you
very
mentioned.
strange.
I'm actually feeling the racial strings being pulled, like, because I got a lot of left and right wing friends, and all the left wing friends are texting me like, "Hey, this racist guy Charlie Kirk, or this Zionist racist guy Charlie Kirk, you heard about it? You heard about it?" And I'm like, "Dang." And from the right wing, like, they're giving a more Tariq Nasheed type of explanation about it, and the right
Just
wingers are just like,
Just some more
unfortunate.
breaking news. A couple of the breaking news, and then I'll give it straight to Simon. So the first one is Marco Rubio has made a statement. He said, "Jeanette and I are devastated. Charlie Kirk's commitment to America's future generations and sense of patriotism will resonate for decades to come. May the Lord bless Charlie and his family." We also have the Utah Senator Curtis, who says, "Political is violence escalating." So, which is so he's made a statement as well. We also have Nancy Mace, who made a statement saying, "Our hearts break for the family of Kirk, Turning Point USA, and all who had the privilege of knowing Charlie personally. He was a beacon of true leadership, rooted deeply in his faith as a Christian, his principles as a conservative, and his integrity as a man. Charlie was one of the brightest lights of our time, whose whole sole mission was to share the word of God and promote peace. Tragically, he was essentially taken from us in cold blood. Above all, Charlie was was a devoted man of God, a loving father, and a dedicated husband. May God grant his soul eternal rest. America will carry on your legacy." And then he just quoted John 11:25 and 26. And Jesus said to her, "I am the resurrection and the life. Whoever believes in me, though he die, yet shall he live, and everyone who lives and believes in me shall never die." So that was the statement made by Nancy Mace. And just to confirm to the audience, there was a shooting at an event. Charlie Kirk has died. He was shot. The assailant has not been apprehended. He is at large, and we'll obviously continue to give you the news about that as and when we receive it. Let me go to Simon. Simon, did you want to jump in or something?
Yeah,
Sorry.
I was just going to say, look, I think we're beyond the whole I'm engaging in conspiracy theories. The problem with the sheer level of dishonesty and the historical record of so many of the quote unquote conspiracy theories, becoming, it was just a function of a reality that most people couldn't believe. And so now I think you're incredibly irresponsible if you don't engage in